my uncle, John Kennedy, did that. He refused to go to war.
JFK was not anti-war. We're going to break down his record, and we'll start with when he made arguably the most dangerous decision in the history of humanity. During the Cuban Missile Crisis, Khrushchev made an offer to Kennedy that in exchange for no nukes in Cuba, the US would withdraw the missiles we had pointed at the Soviet Union in Turkey. Kennedy rejected this proposal. Later, when speaking on the Cuban Missile Crisis, Kennedy said that he thought at the time there was a 1 in 3 chance of nuclear war breaking out. If Kennedy was anti-war and he thought the chance of nuclear war was that high, he would have taken the very reasonable proposal from Khrushchev. But it doesn't stop there. It was of course Kennedy that approved the use of Agent Orange on the people of Vietnam, the effects of which the people in Vietnam are still suffering from to this day. Kennedy authorized sending hundreds of Special Forces troops to Vietnam, along with thousands of military advisors for the brutal South Vietnamese government. In fact, Kennedy supported a coup in the already corrupt South Vietnamese government. For example, Kennedy supported weaponizing aid to South Vietnam to increase pressure for said coup. Even in terms of rhetoric, he was a huge Cold Warrior. For example, during the 1960 election, he promulgated the idea of a missile gap with the Soviets. Did Kennedy use this gap as an argument to push for peace? No, he used it as an argument to spend more on the military. Of course, there are the people that say if he had had more time, he would have gotten us out of Vietnam. Even if we grant the idea that Kennedy supported McNamara's proposal to withdraw US troops from Vietnam, I am personally doubtful on the actual follow-through on that, but let's fully grant that he would have done it. He would have been withdrawing the troops that he supported sending. But even if he had gotten those troops out, we have no reason to believe he would have stopped supporting the government of South Vietnam. He increased military aid to them while in office, despite their brutal campaign against their own population. People will often point to the failure of the Bay of Pigs invasion as Kennedy being anti-war. It's true he withheld air support despite being pressured to, so I guess he didn't go full war hawk, but he did support Cuban expats with CIA support attempting to overthrow the government of Fidel Castro. Even if said CIA support was limited, I really wouldn't call that anti-war. Now look, I get it. Kennedy was incredibly charismatic, he was a great speaker, so it's really easy to romanticize the idea that this anti-war figure was martyred for the cause. But in my opinion, his record does not back that up.